I have some amazing news, as Alex has been telling you, a retirement party a few years ago, and we have the article up on Infowars.com by Don Salazar that's, I think it's gone live now, but it's going to be coming up if it's not up there. Basically, what they're talking about is they're celebrating this lady they call the Acquisition Queen. They brag about all the land that she's taken, how much land she has taken for, and I'm not sure if it's the Park Service or the BLM. Look, they all work for the Department of Interior. They all work for the federal government. The BLM has different parts of its organization, some of them that confiscate land, some of them that supposedly manage land. That's questionable as we see this. But what you need to understand is the attitude of these bureaucrats. You know, as I looked at this, I thought, have you ever wondered if there's any remorse or any regret from the people when they throw people out of their homes? And actually, when I look at this and the applause and the laughing and the taunting of private ownership that goes on in this retirement party, no, they don't. As a matter of fact, they want more people to take more land. Because even though this lady, as she was retiring from this one position, she was going to go out to Lassen Park in California, and they were talking about how many acres were owned there by the Park Service. And they said, and in this area, there's another 5 acres out of, compared to the 106,000 acres that are there. In other words, there is 0.005% private land. And the guy who talks about this says, well, if I was that private landowner, I'd be concerned about this. We're going to play you those clips. It will make your blood boil. It makes my blood boil. This is what our government is doing. As we've seen many times, the people who are fighting this out west, the people who have seen, and again, in Utah, there was a demonstration held by a county commissioner that he organized as the Park Service was going to shut down a trail that had been open to recreational vehicles. You know, a lot of people in the city, a lot of people in the suburbs don't really understand what's going on with the ranchers. They think, well, I want to have these massive parks, and understand that they're only going to let you use far less than 1% of this land. They're going to lock that up. And now they're locking down the 1%. And so they organized a protest. They threw the guy in jail for 10 days. They fined him. I think it was, I can't remember, I'm trying to go from memory. I think it was a $100,000, $200,000 fine. And put him on probation because these people did a protest ride down this trail that had been previously open to the public. They want to shut everything down. As I said, they want to lock up all the land and tell you that you can't have any of it. It's absolutely amazing. This is what's going on with Agenda 21. They call this sustainable development. Sustainable development means that 99.9999, and I'm not exaggerating, % of the land in this country will be locked up and off limits to you. And you will be crammed into some congested cities that you can't even imagine what it's going to be like living in them with 200 square foot apartments. That's their plan for the future. And so we have to understand where they're going, first of all, if we're going to stop it. And as Alex is pointing out, I think that the Bundys have done a great job when they were there with their property, with their neighbors, standing against theft of their rights that they possessed as property. Those grazing rights are rights in and of themselves. Those are things that they had. They had done developments to that with water rights as well as grazing rights. They had developed water features. The BLM was going in, destroying those, confiscating their cattle, literally not trying to manage the area. And that was Cliven Bundy's point. That's when he stopped paying the fees and protest, and that's a legitimate thing. They want to call him a welfare king rancher, okay? That's not what was going on. These people are the acquisition queens, the theft people. As one of them says, we're the bad guys. We come in and we take this land. They also brag about how they steal a mine. So we're going to play that. Now let's get to this clip of the BLM stuff. This is coming from a lady, Serena Catania, I think is the way to pronounce her name. She has a Sustaining America channel. We were sent this clip. A couple of different people sent this to us. I want to try to get her on. She's got a website, sustainingamerica.com. Talk to her a little bit more about the background of this. And, of course, if you go to her YouTube channel, go to her website, you'll see some other very heartbreaking videos about people who built their dream home, wanted to retire close to a national park, and the national park comes in and takes their land. And this one video that she has, the lady says they had just built their dream home. They were working on this, and they were going to confiscate all of it. And she asked them, well, what are you going to do with the home? They said, well, you know, some of the nicer ones like yours, we won't tear down. We'll have park employees move into them. And it's like, oh, okay. So it's okay for the government bureaucrats to live in these homes. It's not an impact on the sustainability of the environment if a park employee or a federal employee steals this from you and lives in it, but you can't stay there. That's the reality that we live with, okay? Let me play this clip for you real quickly, give you a taste of this.
But I did have a letter here from the Washington office, and what it says in the letter to Mary is thank you for all of your support. And Mary has, and Dick, they have supported Lands. Lands isn't always supported because we're the bad guys. We come in and we take this land, and we always take it for less than it's worth.
Yeah. There you go. Always less than it's worth.
And I still talk to Washington and keep telling them you need more staff.
Yeah. Need more people to take land for less than it's worth. They're the bad guys. They're bragging about it. Yeah, they come in and they take this land. They always take it for less than it's worth. So here's an example from the same lady at the same party where they're going to brag about the fact that there was a mine that they wanted to take. They said they estimated it was $40 million. They eventually get it for $2.5 million. Okay, so maybe about 5% of the real value of the property. And she brags about the fact that she took it from two little old guys that were in World War II. Absolutely merciless theft. Let's play that clip.
You know, we'd sit there and wonder, why are we here?
Yeah, why are you here?
But
thieves.
We weren't back too long, and Dick calls and said, we need to have a meeting. There's a mine I want to acquire.
I want to acquire this mine.
So, okay.
Yeah, this one.
And so we had this meeting, and I'm sitting there.
Is that for Harry Reid?
There, too. And, well, what's the value? Do you have an idea what the value of this mine is? Yeah, around $40 million. Well, I came from D.C. Lands, and I knew how much money was in the bank. I forget how long it took us to acquire it.
Forever.
It did take forever.
Yeah, we don't have enough money. Let's just steal it.
We put out to the mine, and the owners were two little guys that had been in the Second World War. This mine was in operation in the 40s.
Yeah, so screw them.
And you have to do
you can get away with it.
Title.
They're old guys. Take advantage of them.
I swear it was. And Ralph Minehan, our attorney's going like this. We didn't know what to do. We called everybody in the country. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody wanted to touch it. But anyway, we did get it appraised, and we did acquire for $2.5 million, which I stole the money from Washington.
Yeah, great. She stole the money from Washington, and she got it for $2.5 million, a little bit, just a little bit over 5% of what they had appraised it as. Yeah, you're the bad guys. You come in and you take our land, and you take it for less than it's worth. That's the reality of it. Let's play this next clip. This is where they refer to her as the acquisition queen. And this is the celebration, again, of this lady who's retiring from working at the Mojave Preserve. They're going to talk about how much land this acquisition queen has stolen. And then they're going to look forward to what she's going to do at her next position in California. Let's play that clip.
Up on the wall, and I don't know whether you can see them or not, are 3 red numbers. Some pretty big ones and one small one. And I don't know how to do this, but I guess we'll start with the big one, 111,500.
So he's playing a little game. He's having the people guess, what is this?
Under the acquisition queen's regime. Yeah.
111,550 acres under the acquisition queen regime. Oh, applause. Isn't that great? We love that. She acquired 111,000 acres.
6,372.36.
What's that number?
Okay, how about the next number? It's the private acreage in Lassie.
Go ahead, play the rest of this.
If you own those 5.66 acres, would you be sweating right now?
That makes my blood boil. I don't know if you can hear that. He says, if you owned that 5.66 acres, would you be sweating right now? Because you see, they've already gotten all but 5/1000th of a percent of the land in that area. They want it all. They want it all. And you better be sweating because the federal government is going to steal every last thing you've got. And these people are laughing about it. They're the thieves who work for the federal government. Makes my blood boil to see this. We've got the federal government in Texas moving the boundaries around the Red River for land that people have had for centuries, telling them that they're going to steal their land, they're going to steal their homes. This is land that has been private land, it's been registered, they've been paying taxes on it. They're doing this everywhere, folks. You better wake up. They're going to take your stuff too. Whether they're going to pull you over beside the road and take your car because, well, you know, war on drugs. I'm not going to wait and, you know, find you guilty for anything. I'm not going to even charge you with anything. I'm just going to charge your car with being maybe an accessory to my fantasy of it being connected in somehow to this illegal, unconstitutional war on drugs. And I'll just take your property. Okay? Think about this, conservatives. If a government can take your land, they can take your car, they can take your plane, they can take anything because you don't have any rights. And all these people who want to support this because they hate drugs, or all these people who want to support it on the left because they hate guns, understand the hole that you're digging yourself into. They're going to set you beside that hole and put a gun in your head. That's what this is all about, folks. You want to give them these kinds of unconstitutional powers that they don't have. Conservatives, do you understand that this is a UN agenda, this war on drugs? Do you understand that it has been totally ineffective except to take your rights and your property?